Hi, and welcome to TravelView from the Journey Lab. TravelView is our entry into the GSA Travel Data Challenge. TravelView is a data visualization tool that allows agencies to identify opportunities to reduce their travel cost. We do this by showing people how they compare to other agencies, and then also it's an open framework that will really allow those at the travel GSA level, the overall administrators, to continue to grow with the system and build upon it. When we first addressed this challenge, what we didn't want to do was just sort of run the existing data sets that we were provided with through an existing visualizer. Pretty graphs and charts are all well and good, but what we wanted to do was find ways to move people to action. One of our drivers for that is by tapping into behavior modeling. It's a system used by companies like Opower, for example, who use it to get people to save money on their utility bills. They found that by simply showing people how much money they're spending on energy compared to their neighbors, it gets people who think of themselves as energy conscious and realize that they are not to set personal goals and meet those goals and save money. That capability exists within our system, and we'll take a look at that. Additionally, what we've built is a framework that can grow with your organization. It's very easy for someone at the overall agency administrator level to come in here and set additional key performance indicators. So as new data gets released, they can set those indicators and also define what the metrics are, how you want agencies to perform, how you want them to be targeting themselves. And that's something we'll see in the second half of the demonstration that we think is a really powerful resource. We're right here. We're at the home page of the site. Everything is password protected. Users can register. There's an existing registration system, and if there was existing data that tied email addresses to agencies, someone could register and automatically be assigned to the correct agency. In this case, I'm going to log in as an administrator of my particular agency. Now, there's three types of users in the system. There's users at the agency level, so that's a staff person at the agency, and they're the ones who can log in and they can see how their agency is performing compared to peer agencies, and also see the goals that my agency director has set for me. Then there's the administrator, which is the director of an agency. That's someone who can view their agency data, but also someone who can set goals and set how they want their agency to perform. And then last is the super user that we'll look at last, the really powerful part of the system, where there's someone at the overall travel GSA department who's managing the system, who is determining what KPIs you want agencies to perform against and what those metrics are, how you want them to be saving money, what you think they should be paying attention to. So initially, I'm going to go ahead and log in here as an administrator. So I have, in a particular agency, I have the ability to view data and set goals. So when I log in, I have access to three dashboards: my airfare dashboard, my hotel or my car rental dashboard. When I click on my airfare dashboard, I see my agency's performance on several key performance indicators. These are ones that we identified that were in the existing data sets. But as I mentioned, very easy to come in here as you get new data, add new KPIs, and we'll see that a little bit down the road. So I can see how my agency is doing. For example, how are we booking online? We can click in and look at that in a little bit more detail, get some information about why that matters. And we can see that my agency is booking online about 43% of the time. And compared to all agencies, that's really sort of underperforming. It's not where we want to be. And I can compare myself to peer agencies. One of our recommendations is that you have in the system peer agency data so that people can only compare themselves to like agencies. So they're comparing apples to apples, orange to oranges. In this case, we'll compare ourselves to the mock treasury department. When I go back and look, I can see that I'm on this booking online. I'm not performing very well generally, and actually compared to my agency that I think of myself as a like agency, I'm actually doing very poorly. So I have the ability to set goals. We've already one that's been set in the system initially, and I can set this goal because I'm an administrator. And it's very easy to do. I can say, I want to set a goal. Let's get to 60%. Let's get to 60% and 40%. So that's our goal for how much we're going to be booking online. And then that outer ring adjusts. And that can be seen by all of my staff. So they can see how we're performing and where we want to be. And there's some other key performance indicators in here, such as booking in advance, which is a very important one. And I can see that, how I'm doing greater than 2 months, less than 1 week. Again, compare myself to other like agencies. I can also see how I do on some of the other indicators. So I can go and take a look at hotel data. And hotel data has booking online, government room rate. We're obviously not doing very well at this one at all. We want to be setting a different goal for that, and compared to other agencies, we can see how we're performing. Another one to notice is that we have booking in advance. A small distinction here is to notice that booking in advance was also available in airline, but the metrics are different. Airline, it was less than 7 days was the worst performing. In this case, it's less than 2. And this isn't hard coded into the system. All of these metrics can be defined by that overall super user that we'll look at. So determining what is a good performance, what is a bad performance, what is a mediocre performance, that is set at the overall super user level, who is then driving down across all the agencies how you like to see them perform. And that's really one of the most powerful parts of the system, and we'll look at how that works in a few minutes. And then we also have the car rental data. There's one primary piece of data that we left out here, which is car category. We had it in a couple minutes ago. We took it out. But that's the piece that we're going to go in a minute as a super user and recreate the car category data. And we'll show you just how easy that is for somebody to do. The system that we built, it's completely responsive, works on all different browsers. So this is viewing on Firefox, but if I jumped over to Chrome and on tablet sized, you can sort of see how it resizes for tablet view. Works really well on touch interfaces. Also supports Internet Explorer, and here's how the view would appear on mobile. So on phones, they can get access to this data very easily as well. So it's a fully responsive design. So that's the basis of the front end of the system. The way it works is that users can come in, see how their agency is performing against their peers, see how they're doing against the goals that their director has set for them. Now let's go look at the most powerful piece of the system, which is this super user that we've mentioned a few times. So I'm going to log in as an overall administrator of the system. This would be the GSA Travel Department, someone who's really managing the tool and managing the system and the goals for the entire government agencies. So I have the ability to view all the agency data. And additionally, I have some additional capabilities. I can upload data into the system. So we built a very simple data uploader. You just browse to the data that's in CSV format. It'll automatically update, change all the KPIs, all the data will update itself automatically. It's also got some protections built into the system. So if you tried to upload, for example, hotel data into the air, it would see the data categories don't match and give you a warning. If you added new columns, then those are new pieces of information you can add as KPIs. But I can also add what are called key performance indicators. This is what I mentioned a few minutes ago. So car category is a piece of data that we know is in the system, that we know we want our agencies to be paying attention to. And here's how simple it is to go ahead and recreate that. So this key performance indicator is car category. We'll describe sort of why this is important. So there's, saving money on the class of car is a simple action agencies can take every day. And you can provide some information, more education about, why it's important to wait until you can maybe check in at the gate. Other ways you could sort of, save some money here. Why is this type of travel indicator? This is car data. So that's sort of matching which table. And then there's different types of ways to analyze the data. So the most common is the value of a column of data. That's what we'll do here. But you can also look at averages and sums, and you can actually compare two columns of data against each other. So that's how you would do, for example, the booking in advance. That's going to be a comparison of the book date from the travel date. But we'll do value of a column of data. And the column of data that we're looking at is car category. And we want to be looking at what in the case where it's equal to. And so then we're going to go and quickly recreate these car categories. So there's economy as one. We'll give that a label. And then we have the ability to determine, this is it. That's our ideal action here. We have compact. We start to build that out. Intermediate. Standard. And then lastly, full size. So very easy. If we could probably train someone in about 5 minutes to do even complex sort of data creation on the back end here. As long as the data exists in the system, setting a KPI for it, very quickly and easy to do. And also it puts in the hand of that travel department, what are the metrics? What is a good action? What is a bad action? What do you want people paying attention to? So now we save this KPI. And what it does is it recreates all across the system car category with all the data in the databases. So if I quickly log out and log back in as that previous agency's administrator that we were looking at a few minutes ago, and I now return to the car rental data. Car category was missing before. Car category is now there. All of my agency data is now available. I can now see how my agency does on car categories compared to my peers. And like before, I can set a goal for this indicator. That's kind of a quick look at what's available in the system. We think it's really a great way to have an impact. What really mattered to us was not about just visualizing data. What mattered to us was providing a framework that would move people to take action, that would have them start to identify ways that they are perhaps falling short and that the goals they want to set for themselves. Another piece of data we thought would be very valuable to add would be to have individual data. So it would be really great as if an agency could look at not only how that agency is performing on these key metrics, but also how all their individual staff is. So if I was the agency director, I could see that John has not been booking online, and I can set a goal for John to do that half of the time. So if you could really drill this down to the personnel level, it could have a massive impact. We also think that what we've built here is a framework. It's a completely open source, custom built solution. It is something that can really grow with you. It's very easy to take this model, add new data points, build new KPIs, and continue to have it grow and provide more value over time. So that was our demonstration. Thank you for the opportunity to enter this challenge. We're really proud of what we built here. We think it can really have a big impact. Simple tool, but hopefully a real powerful motivator. We're happy to answer any questions that you have, and thank you for your time. And I hope you enjoyed TravelView.